Welcome to the Writers Weekly podcast, a forum geared toward the writing enthusiast and those who want to make money from their writing. I'm Brian Whidden, managing editor of Writers Weekly, and I'll be your host along with Angela Hoy, the creator of Writers Weekly and president and CEO of BookLocker.com, a full-service book publishing company. Whether you want to learn how to become a professional writer, how to find writing gigs, or even publish your own book, then you come to the right place. We'll be discussing all kinds of topics relating to the writing and publishing industries. Don't forget, you can also click over to WritersWeekly.com. There, you'll find not only thousands of articles about professional writing, you can also find current paying markets and job listings to help you boost your writing career and even your bottom line. But for now, let's get on to this episode of the Writers Weekly podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to yet another episode of the Writers Weekly podcast. I, once again, am your host, managing editor of Writers Weekly, Brian Whidden. And with me, as always, is the creator of Writers Weekly, the one, the only, the very lovely Angela Hoy, also president, CEO, and owner of BookLocker.com.
I have a question. Did you click the record button?
Yeah, see it? Let's go. Yep. We'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so we've been out of the loop for a little bit. Not our fault. Well, you know, we had some family situations that we had to travel to go deal with, and then we had some other issues going on here that we had to deal with, and then I had a computer die on me. Well, actually, I had a dog sit on it. Had to get a new computer, and if anyone's ever had to move about 2 terabytes worth of information from one computer to another, and also try to sync to another, 3 terabytes of information and quote unquote the cloud. Boy, do I hate Dropbox.
Yeah.
Then you understand, we weren't able to sit down and do a podcast for a while. We did this podcast a couple of days ago. We got all the way through it.
Yeah.
Only to find out that because I was still, the computer was still like figuring things out, and I had just downloaded Audacity, and we actually spent like an hour doing this podcast, and we looked at it, and it apparently Audacity had shut down like after the first 2 minutes, and we had no idea because that window was like behind our notes.
Hey, we had a good talk.
It was a great talk. Oh, yeah. Y'all would have loved this episode if you had gotten to hear our original, but we never recorded it. So great practice. Okay. Hi, Angie.
Hello. And if you hear me snotting and snorting, it's high pollen season here. After, let's see, a week ago, Wednesday, it was 80 degrees. Sunday, we had tornadoes. We slept in the basement apartment that night. Monday, we had 3 inches of snow. And Saturday and Sunday, it's supposed to be 83 and 85 degrees or something along those lines. And there was pollen before the snow, and all the snow melted, and the pollen's still all over the deck and all over the ground everywhere. And I have horrible spring allergies, so, and I think my voice is a little off too, but sorry.
Yeah. and you moved us away from Florida to get away from those damn hurricanes.
Well, you know, I think I prefer the pollen.
So now we're in like a total like weather anomaly every day. It's like something weird going on with the weather all the time.
Mother Nature's a little upset about something.
It's global climate change. Okay.
Yeah.
So today's episode is fake publishing. So sorry, folks, I gotta get my groove back here. So okay, fake publishing services offered by scammers for thousands. Now, we wanted to come in and just kind of do a rundown of all the different kind of scams are out there. Because as we've said many times before, the old, offer you something, get your money, take off and run is the old way of doing things. They have gotten so much more creative now. We are continuing to try to warn people about this stuff. One of the things that just really grinds us is how many times we have had authors come to us and say, what do you think about this company? And we look it up and we're like, yeah, it's flat out scam, 100% scam. Don't do it. And they'll still come back to, well, I don't know. They told me they're going to get my book out and they make it a bestseller and they're going to get it out to millions of people. And I'm going to go ahead and go with this.
These people that argue with us.
Yeah.
And then, and we're very polite to them. But then I have some good news. An author contacted me today and I saved her $4,000. Unfortunately, she'd already spent $1,000. But you were about to talk about how they get you in. And they don't just take your money and run. They upsell you on all these ridiculous services, telling you that you have to buy some of them. Anyway, she paid $1,000. They didn't do anything, and then she contacted me when they asked for another $4,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So we're going to start out by reminding everybody everywhere to never pay for purported publishing or marketing or any services using a bank transfer. No matter what they're asking you for, you got a cool story about that.
I do have a cool story.
Do you want to tell
that
this time, or you want to wait till next episode? You want to just jump in and...
Well, I tell you what, we'll talk about it in depth next episode,
Okay.
But I was contacted by a scammer on Facebook, and I told him I knew he was a scammer and that I was going to have his Facebook and website shut down. And overnight when I was asleep, he sent me... I will post screenshots in Writers Weekly next week about this. He some like kind of voodoo guy. He admitted he was in West Africa and he had fake U.S. addresses on Facebook. So I said, hey, I'll pay you $60 U.S. if you write an article for us telling our readers how foreign scammers make it look like they're in the United States. Hold on. Pollen moment. and he said 100. I said, no, 60. He said, prepay. I said, no, I'll pay you when you're done with it. He said, I said, I'll pay you by PayPal. He said, how about Western Union? I said, no. Well, he's still, okay, so things fell apart after that. Then he sent me several messages that it looked like voodoo stuff, like casting spells on me and stuff. And he can't even spell American profanity correctly, okay? S-H-E-E-T. Uh-huh.
Well, maybe he's just a polite scammer.
So the next day, I'm on Facebook, and he pops up, and he apologizes to me. I went, oh, we're going to do business after all, huh? So he wrote the article and asked me to send the money by bank transfer, and I said no. And then I went, wait a minute.
Okay, well, there you go. So we're going to, yeah. So this is an ongoing story.
Yeah.
And folks...
And then it got interesting.
We've been talking, and we're going to get him.
Oh, yeah.
He ain't going to like what we do.
We'll tell the rest of that story.
Yeah. But he is at the point now. He wrote us an article. Was it any good?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
all
and
right.
I am going to publish it with all the misspelled words.
Well, we kind of figured, wow, I mean, if we could actually get a real honest-to-God scammer to tell us how they do it, great article for Writers Weekly. You're going to have to do a lot of editing, I guess. But then seriously, there was $60 in it for him right there.
Yeah. Free
Free and clear. You just open up a PayPal. No, you need to send it wire transfer. Okay, buddy.
Yeah.
Now it's our turn to play.
Yep.
So stand by for that story, folks.
That'll be next week's episode. It's pretty funny.
We ain't done with him.
No.
Okay.
He's been emailing me all day. Why have you made your payment yet? Excuse me.
Okay, so if you use anything other than a credit card, you do not pay using a bank transfer. Don't pay using a check.
Explain the check thing. Your check has your bank account and routing information on it, your name, your address. They can send you an email that has malware in it where they can actually get into your computer and log into your bank account. So don't mail people checks.
Yeah,
anymore.
Those of you who still use paper checks for anything, and we pay some things with checks still. Look down at the bottom. All those little digital numbers on the bottom. If you weren't aware of it, that is your routing and bank account number right there. So anybody you send that to, if they feel the need, they can actually use that information to start trying to work their way into your bank account. So Don't pay any of these people by check.
We mail checks personally. We pay for like our garbage service with a check because they don't accept credit cards. We know who they are. They come by every Wednesday. The only person that I mail a check to every year, this is hilarious, is our CPA. He doesn't take credit cards. He don't want to pay the credit card fees.
Oh, there you go.
So, but other than that, we have not mailed a check to anybody since 2015.
Yeah, well, we would our lawn guy when we were getting our lawn mowed, we give him a check, but I know him,
right?
You know, so,
right.
Yeah.
And the reason we stopped mailing checks was they were getting stolen en route and being washed. So let's say I sent an author, true story, it was being somewhere in the United States, a few states away, and I think it was $140-something, and somebody had added an extra zero to the end and washed the check and changed the name. And I actually caught it before the bank, because I log into the bank account every morning to look for something like that. And that's when we decided, that happened a few times, and that's when we decided we're not using checks anymore. Yeah. And there's a lot of stories online of people seeing their checks have been washed, and they think it's happening inside the post office. Somebody who works for the post office is stealing those checks.
Yeah. And last but not least, folks, it don't matter what business you're doing. Anybody that asks for payment using a gift card is a scammer. Do not send gift cards to anybody. Do not go out and buy gift cards to scratch off something and read a number off to somebody to pay them.
Yeah.
That ain't the way it works. That is a scammer.
Absolutely, 100% of the time.
And that is just so that when you finally realize the scam, you can never get that money back. There is no getting your money back from a gift card once you've given that digital information to that scammer. So
we actually tricked a scammer one. Remember the romance scammer on Facebook? Yes. And he really thought, that I was falling in love with him and everything, and he was, really hot for me. And he wanted me to send him $500, I think it was, with an Apple gift card for his kid who was away at boarding school. And I think this guy worked on an oil rig. I mean, it's scammer 101, right? Mm-hmm. And we actually scratched off the back of a gift card and sent a picture to him after. Yeah. But it had a zero balance.
Yeah.
But I'd been writing about what I was doing on Facebook, and he wrote me back. He said, "I know what you're doing. I've been reading what you've been writing about me."
Yeah, so why are you still trying?
I know, right?
Go away. Yeah. Okay. So if you use anything other than a credit card, you're not going to be able to get your money back. I mean, it's that simple. Any company that doesn't accept credit cards is a scammer, at least in our realm, in our business, publishing business.
We've heard them say, our credit card system is down right now, so you need to send us a wire transfer. That's a red flag. Yeah.
However, you have to determine within 60 days, if you do use a credit card, that person is a scammer. Otherwise, you're not going to get that money back either. So that's why it's important to contact us at WritersWeekly.com about any company that you're considering doing business with regarding your book, so that we can let you know if they're a scammer or not. We work with attorney James M. Walsh, and we know exactly what to look for, so we can determine within 5 minutes if it's a foreign publishing scam or not. And speaking of scams and Writers Weekly, Angie cheated on me a little bit. No, Angie was actually on somebody else's podcast.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Boy, the look you gave me, I thought you knew what I was talking about. Angie, tell them about the podcast you were on and the stuff you talked about for scammers.
Yeah, I was invited to be a guest on another podcast, and since we'll be talking about that one scammer next week that we've been having so much fun with, I tell you, I had a lot of fun on this podcast, and next week I'll tell you about that experience. And I tell you, it was two hosts and me, and we laughed and laughed despite the fact that it was all about scammers, and they actually do what we do. Authors contact them, and they research the scammers for them. So anyway, we will include that information under next week's episode.
Okay. All right. So that said, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this week's episode: fake services that publishing scammers offer. Some of them may make you think that you might be breaking the law if you don't pay the money and do the things that they ask, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, right. In order to sell your book here's the first example. Okay. In order to sell your book anywhere except on Amazon, you must have an LLC. limited liability company. I don't know if you understand, but that's setting up a corporation.
Setting up a corporation.
It ain't cheap, and you don't need it.
Yeah.
You're covered.
Realize anytime you go into just about any business, you have the option of setting up a corporation or being a, here we go, sole proprietor.
Yeah, sole
now,
proprietor.
Sole proprietor. Yeah, there's all kind of corporation options. You can just run the business and take all the risk yourself, or you can start a corporation and that moves some risk over to the corporation, so that if something bad happens, you don't take the full hit. But it's not required to do anything by law,
especially by authors.
Exactly. Yeah, by an author, especially.
Yeah,
but
right.
Anyway, so go on.
So they tell you, by law, you have to set up an LLC or you can't be an author, which is a lie. And they'll be happy to set it all up for you for several $1,000s.
Yeah.
And you don't need it. Well, if your book could cause some legal problems in the future, it's something you might want to think about. But it's definitely not required by law to have an LLC or any kind of corporation if you're an author.
Okay, so a lot of our book packages, our publishing packages, come with cover design.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of those. And or we have a price that you can pay that we can just do your cover for you. If you already have the manuscript figured out somewhere else and you just needed a cover, we can do that. And a lot of these fake companies, they'll offer a quote of about $199. In just $199, we'll do your cover. It's actually on their ads, and I'm still seeing these ads on Facebook. It's editing, formatting, cover design, full distribution, and a laundry list of other things, book video for in just $199 or in just $299 or in just $399. Yeah.
The first 2 episodes of our podcast, which are on writersweekly.com/podcast, were about the In Just group. That's what we call them, which is part of the overseas publishing crime cartel. So you think, oh, wow, $199. They're going to do all this for me for $199. Don't be dumb, people. There's no way you're getting all those services for that amount of money. Yeah. I can't believe people actually believe those things. Some of the scammers have gotten more sophisticated. Now they're saying $1,500, or $1,200. But anyway, so you sign up, you pay your $199, and then they write to you and they say, oh, you wanted words on the cover of your book?
Yeah.
That's going to be an extra $600.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's one of the bait and switch things they do.
And let me tell you this from a cover designer point. If you do go with one of these scammers, and they say, "Oh yeah, we're working on your cover. Okay, here's your cover," and they send you this beautiful picture of this book cover, and you really really love it, and then somehow you figure out it's a scam, and you break away from them, and you come to any other publisher. That really gorgeous, beautiful picture they sent you of a book cover, you are not going to be able to send that to the new publisher and say, "Here, use this as my book cover," because what they do is they send you the lowest quality digital image they can possibly muster that looks really, really great on a computer screen. But number one, it's usually about 72 DPI, which will not even show up print-wise. I mean, it'll just be a mess of colors. And
if you want an actual 300 DPI of your cover later, pay them an extra $2,000 or $3,000, and they'll be happy to give it to you.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah.
However, you can't trust them because they're masters at copyright infringement.
Well, that's true too.
And they are stealing book covers from other publishers. They're stealing author photos.
Yeah.
They're creating fake testimonials. A lot of their testimonials on their websites, if you do a reverse Google image search, they've stolen that image from some other website. So you don't want to use that cover anyway, because chances are the image on the background was stolen.
Was probably stolen, yeah. But we have had authors who come to us and they say, "Oh, I had somebody else make my cover. Here, use this." And it's a 72 DPI digital image that when you put it on Photoshop says it's about 2 inches by 3 inches.
2 by 3 inches.
So you can't even blow it up to like a 6 by 9, 5 by 8 book cover because it just pixelizes. You can't use that. And even if it is the right proportions and resolution, a lot of times the way they've set up the text and where they've put the author's name and stuff like that, they put it in outside the bleed areas, to where you would actually, if you turn this into a printer and the printer printed it, it would like cut off the title or the name.
They purposely send authors covers they cannot use anywhere else.
Yeah.
They because they want to ensnare you in their web and keep telling you to pay them more and more money. If you can take what they've done somewhere else, then they've lost you.
So basically, if you get offered a cover and it shows up with no text, and you ask about it, like, well, yeah, you're gonna have to pay us for that too. Run.
Yeah.
Run.
And do a chargeback on your credit card.
All right. Let's talk about author insurance.
Okay. This one just, man. This is a relatively new scam, but it's just like, wow. They're so creative.
As soon as I hear this, I think of the little shady guy on Sesame Street that used to go up to Bert and Ernie. The little guy in the trench goes, "Hey, you want to buy the letter A?" And he's looking around like somebody's gonna bust him, And, he's like, "It's only a nickel." And a nickel. Shh. So that's what I. So the image that comes to mind with folks, there's no such thing as author insurance.
Yeah. Now there is media insurance where, some authors choose to buy that, and it supposedly pays for your legal fees if you get sued over your book for some reason. It's not required by law. Yep. The scammers are telling authors you cannot publish a book without author insurance. It's against the law globally.
Yeah.
And they'll be happy to set you up with a fake insurance company, and it's only $6,000 or something like that. And but you know what? Can't get your book on the market without it.
Yeah.
Which is a total lie.
Okay. You want to do the next one?
Here's another one. For a fee, they guarantee they can get you the #1 spot on Amazon. Boy, we see that all the time, don't we?
I was #1 on Amazon for a day.
For about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
If they do bother to publish the book, and most times they don't. Some of them do actually put a few books on the market to make themselves look legit, but they're still scammers. So if they do bother to publish the book, and if you do get a #1 spot somewhere on Amazon, it will be such an obscure category in Amazon that nobody will ever see your book. And I can give you, it's a fake example, but it's a hilarious example. Category called, and again, a lot of the categories on Amazon are this ridiculous. Books you find in doctors' offices, waiting rooms.
Yep.
I mean that's how ridiculous some of them are. So yeah, they can get you a #1 spot on Amazon. It doesn't mean you're going to sell any books.
Well, exactly. It's the problem is, I think some of those ratings, those category ratings on Amazon are not necessarily based on book sales.
No, we actually have an article on Writers Weekly about BookScan.
Mm-hmm.
Amazon pulls their sales numbers from BookScan, and every time we have checked BookScan's numbers, they have been incredibly wrong. They're missing a lot of sales, or they have too many sales from what we get from our distributor.
Yep.
One of our authors contacted me twice in the past 2 weeks, and we were throwing around the Amazon uses BookScan and featured, told the author this many copies have sold, and BookScan was missing hundreds of copies.
Yeah.
Now, BookScan supposedly gets book sales information from bookstores and publishers and everything. We've been in business for 27 years now, and BookScan has never contacted us to ask us about our sales.
Mm-hmm.
So the sales numbers on Amazon are bunk.
Yeah.
Totally worthless. And the reason that you could be #1 on the category of books in doctors' offices, waiting rooms, is because one person may have purchased the book, and it was probably the author who did it when they saw it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When I put up my book, like I said, for like a day, I was like #1 in some category I'm sure nobody's even heard of. Mm-hmm. And then you check the next day and there's like 10, there's your number 500. It moves around.
Here's something else a lot of authors don't know. You can choose the categories for your book.
Yeah.
But somebody at Amazon might think they know better.
Great.
They go in and change the categories of books all the time. No matter what you submit, no matter who you submit it through, Ingram or Amazon, KDP or whatever. Yeah. Anybody at Amazon could go in and change categories of your book.
All right. And in the same vein, your quote unquote publisher might tell you if they pay them about $3,000, they will guarantee you that you'll have a New York Times bestseller. Okay. Nobody tells New York Times what's going to be on their bestseller list.
Not even readers.
And not even the readers, because trust me, there are plenty of people out there that have written books that have sold millions and millions and millions and millions of copies, but their politics don't quite line up with what the New York Times believes.
Right.
And therefore, they never wind up on the New York bestseller list.
The New York Times bestseller list is run by a board at the New York Times, and it's not all based on sales.
It's not a bestseller list. It's a books we like list,
right,
is what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Books we like that are selling.
Yeah.
But if they don't like your book, you ain't going to be on there. So nobody can guarantee that you'll be a bestseller on the New York Times. And tell you what, if the New York Times found out that you paid somebody to try to get on the New York Times bestseller list, they're going to blacklist you faster than you can slap yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all, whether you like them or not, Rush Limbaugh wrote several very good selling, well-selling books. Mark Levin has written lots of very well-selling books. Glenn Beck has written a few. All of these are conservative radio hosts, and even though they sold millions and millions and millions of copies, most of their books have never wound up on New York Times bestseller, because New York Times is on the completely opposite political spectrum from them. So they simply will not do it.
And you know what? That's their prerogative.
Well, that's it's a private company, so they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
But don't be fooled into thinking New York Times bestseller list is because you sold that many books,
or that you can automatically get on there by paying somebody $3,000 or $5,000 or something.
Well, that's true too. Speaking of New York,
if you want. This is a good one.
We've seen this one.
Yep, we've seen this one. Your book will appear on the Times Square billboard for like 15 seconds. But it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you several hundred or several $1,000s.
Yeah.
Except your book will not appear there. They will Photoshop your book cover onto a picture of the billboard from a stock image. And was it Jennifer Westacott?
Jennifer Westacott. We'll post a link to that episode. I can't remember what number it was. She's the one that wrote Heartbreak
Falls.
Mm-hmm. And she had gotten scammed. She's the one that drives the gigantic truck in the mine.
Right. Yeah.
She's a cool chick.
She is a cool chick.
But they said, she paid them a bunch of money. They're like, yeah, we're going to put your book up on the New York Times, digital billboard.
Yeah.
And they sent, she once she got the picture, she knew full well it was bogus. It was Photoshopped. She said it wasn't even a good Photoshop job.
Right.
And because I asked her, I said, okay, did you actually see she said, yeah, they sent me a photo of it.
Right.
So, not even a video.
We'll put a link to that episode. She was gracious enough to come on and share her story to help other authors not get scammed.
Great girl. Go ahead.
Here's another one. You're going to earn about $60 million on this movie deal when we sell your book. But first, you need to hire the screenwriter we're recommending to you. We're seeing that every day from authors every day. The highest quote we've heard is $60,000. We saved that author from the scam. That's another episode that we'll put a link to under this episode. How it works is he was contacted by a, quote, literary agent who then connected him with a fake Fox media executive who then recommended a fake screenwriter. Now, the screenwriter had a real name. We actually contacted the real screenwriter, and scammers have used his name in the past. Yep. And they wanted him to pay at first $60,000, but then they lowered it to $50,000 because the Fox executive lied and said he was going to throw in $10,000 for the screenplay. Anyway, all three of the guys were the same dude, the same scammer. They almost fooled the author. It's one of our Book Locker authors. And I'm so glad he came to us before he sent them any money. So we saved him from the scam. But another author, not one of our authors, somebody who contacted us, signed up for a similar scam, fell for it, and over a couple of years paid a company based out of the Philippines over $1 million for a fake book-to-movie scam. So, here's how it works. Movie companies have their own screenwriters. Authors never have to pay for screenwriting services, ever. It's just anybody that approaches you and tries to sell you that bunk is a scammer.
Goes for literary agents, too.
Oh, yeah.
If you have somebody that comes to you, well, not comes to you, sends you something on Facebook or an email or anything like that.
Even on your phone.
And or text, or it says, I work directly with a big six publisher, and if you pay me $3,000, I guarantee I'm going to get you a traditional contract. And honestly, people, traditional contract just doesn't mean bunk anymore.
It doesn't. We've said bunk 3 times in this episode. Yeah, we need to change to a different non-profanity word.
Well, non-profanity. Well, it's gobbledygook, people. Okay.
I'm sorry. Legitimate literary agents do not reach out to authors on social media, email. It just doesn't happen. They've got slush piles a mile high. They work directly with the big 6 publishers. The big 6 publishers
they don't
trust them.
They don't chase authors. Authors come to them. I mean, they line up to these agents, say, "Will you represent me?"
Yeah.
So yeah.
So any quote literary agent who asks you to pay even 1 penny is a fraud.
You're getting bamboozled.
Yeah. There you go. That's a good.
Okay.
I was going to say something else, and you bamboozled my brain.
I'm sorry. Oh, now she's all horns. Now she's all hornswoggled.
Anyway, also, this is going to be in a future episode. The traditional publishing industry is dying.
Yeah.
Book sales wise, they cannot compete with the over 3 million books that are published in the United States now.
It's too easy to self-publish your book now.
Right.
Yeah.
And
the secret is out. It ain't that hard to publish a book.
Right. And Book Locker takes care of everything for you, so you don't have to worry about anything. And they don't charge in just $1.99.
That's true. No, we do not charge that.
Actually, our At Your Service package, cover design, everything, interior formatting, full distribution, everything you need to get your book on the market is only $975. Does not include editing, though, because we're honest. You can purchase proofreading, but for an additional fee.
It's going to cost you.
Yeah, and it's included in the Works package, but yeah, we charge a little more than in just $1.99.
Yeah, that's right. We do charge more than that. Okay. Another one of these, you have to have this to publish a book.
Yep, or you're going to the pokey if you don't.
That's right. Right into the hooscow. Okay. I'm just going to come up with as many as I can today. You need to buy a global copyright, and that'll be $800. And there's no such thing as a global copyright.
Yep.
Doesn't exist.
No such thing.
Ask China if there are actually global copyrights.
Right.
See if they care.
And we're quoting dollar figures, but we're actually seeing a variety of different dollar figures in all these emails we're receiving from authors that are receiving them from scammers.
Yeah, when you hear a dollar figure from us, it's simply an example of one we've actually seen.
Yeah,
so,
but we're seeing lots of different dollar figures. And if they think an author has money and they've been successful in bamboozling authors,
good for you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
They'll quote, they might quote one author $80 for global copyright and another one $8,000, depending on how wealthy they think you are and how much they've gotten out of you.
Exactly. Yeah. And they'll also gauge it based on your responses. So if you're a little tricky to get, they'll start dropping dropping prices to get you to go and give them anything.
50% off today only.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just send us a wire
transfer. Just send us money. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You want to do this next one?
Oh, pay us $5,000 to create a website for you. Okay. First of all, GoDaddy. So easy. Mm-hmm. They have website templates. You can create one yourself. If it really scares you, contact Clayton Jones. We'll put a link to him under this episode. He's an excellent website designer for authors. He provides other marketing services as well.
That man does everything.
He does, man. He's a jack of all trades.
He really is.
He's really, really smart, too. And so friendly.
Yeah. Great guy. No.
That scammer.
Now you're laughing.
No, that scammer that we were talking about earlier in the episode. Yeah. One of the things he called me was, again, he could not spell English correctly, the profanities. He called me Mother, M-O-T-H-A, Mother Stickler. Say that really fast.
Yeah.
Mother Stickler.
Mother Stickler.
So ever since I copied that to Clayton, he's so funny. He's calling me that every day. And the guy also said I was fool, F-O-O-L of S-H-E-E-T, fool of sheet.
Apparently, Google Translate's not working well for him.
Not.
Gosh.
So yesterday, Clayton texted me and he said, "You're so full of sheet, you mother stickler." Clayton said, we're never going to let this one live down. We're going to be using these forever. There was some more anyway. What were we talking about? Websites.
We're talking about websites. And
yeah.
now, this scammer might actually make that website for you. Again, if you're worried about making your own website, go to Clayton Jones. He can make a website for you. But if you pay one of these scammers, what they're going to do, they'll build a website. I mean, it ain't hard. So, and a lot of them already have. See, again, we've said this before. The scammers aren't stupid people. They're actually very highly intelligent. They're very technically savvy.
Very coordinated.
So
too.
they actually have website templates all preset, ready to go. They just got to fill in some information, and within 10 minutes, boom, they have a website.
Yeah.
But they will keep charging you more and more money when you request access to make changes to the website and any other thing that you want to do with it, because the whole idea is not to hand that website over to you. Mm-hmm. They want control of that website because now they have an additional lever to control you with.
Yeah.
And
you have to pay them to update your website.
Yes, the lovely young lady from Florida, Mika, that we talked to her. That's how they screwed her over.
Yeah.
Is they built this wonderful website. It was hername.com.
Yeah.
Which if you pay money for something like that, you don't want to lose it. But once she realized that this was a scam and started challenging them on the things they were saying, they locked her out of that website, and she's never been able to get back into it. She had to start all over again and make her own website that's, something a little different than her name.
Yeah. And another one, elderly gentleman paid the scammer to create his website and then contacted us when he realized he'd been scammed. And it was also hisname.com.
Mm-hmm.
And they got so incensed when we wrote an article about them. I'll put links under this stuff to that they posted a manifesto on his website saying they were going to sue us, they were going to sue him. It really made themselves look very, very bad.
They did, but you think about it. I mean, the idea is if you go to this website looking for that author's book, the first thing that's going to pop up is this big, long dissertation on how he's a fraud and he's lying about the publishing company and that nothing he says is verifiable and blah, blah, blah. And they've been talking to Writers Weekly. That's a big scam. And, and think about it. If you spend a bunch of money and they're doing that to you, to this website that you bought, how would you feel about that?
Right.
But that's what they'll do.
The good news is attorney James M. Walsh got that website taken down.
Yes, he did.
Yep, he's stepping up. He's helping so many authors right now. Now, if you hire Clayton Jones to create your website, once he's finished, he's giving you the login information. You log in, change your password if you don't want anybody else in there. The scammers, they will never give you control of your own website because they will hold that in front of you and charge you money from here to kingdom come. They may be charging you hosting fees. They may charge you $200 a month just for basic maintenance. You name it. Don't hire anybody except Clayton, or go to GoDaddy if you want to, but Clayton Jones is excellent.
And this brings to mind one other along the same technique here. It's not in our list of things, but it just came to mind, is whoever you go with publisher-wise. So let's say you go with BookLocker. We will never, ever, ever ask you for your KDP or Amazon login information.
Yeah.
We had an author who went with one of these publishing companies, and they're like, okay, well, we're going to set your book up in Amazon and everything. We need you to set up a KDP account and then give us the login information. Well, once they went in there, and I think they did upload a book for her, but then they changed the password so she couldn't have access to it. And then they started demanding more money. Right.
They will actually blackmail authors, even though they're never going to send you the password. They'll just keep hitting you up for more and more money. You're never getting the password. Worse, they can change the royalty payment information to their bank account.
Any books that sell, they're getting the money, not you. So never, ever. And if they ask you for it, run.
Yeah.
Because that means they're up to something. Any reputable company does not want access to your Amazon or KDP account. And when they start asking you for that login information, that is the big red flag right there.
When we ask authors that we're paying royalties through PayPal to these certain authors, All we need is your PayPal ID, which is the email address you use for PayPal. That's all we need.
Yeah.
A woman actually emailed me.
People will send us their passwords.
Email address and password for PayPal. Yeah. I've had authors who choose to be paid through bank transfer at the end of the month. Those are our high selling authors because they want to avoid the PayPal fees. And, of course, they know we're trustworthy. We're incorporated in the state of Georgia. And, of course, you can hear our American accents on this podcast, slightly Southern. And, of course, we've been in business, for 27 years. They know they can trust us.
Yeah.
And many have worked with us for years and years. Anyway, an author, more than one author, has actually emailed me all of their bank information. And people don't understand how many computers an email goes through before it hits its destination.
Yeah.
Our author login system, where authors communicate with us, is encrypted and safe. And that's where we tell them to send the information. And once they send it and we set it up in our bank system, then we delete the messages from our system.
But those are a few rare authors that we've worked with for a long time, and they trust us.
Right. Now, these are authors, very high-selling authors that want to avoid the PayPal fees.
Okay. So next thing, despite the ad saying that editing was included in the lowball figure that they originally quoted, they're going to charge you for more for editing anyway. Often this is to the tune of thousands of dollars, which is actually normal for editing
reasonable.
fees. Yeah, and the books are being quote unquote edited by non-English speaking people. You couldn't imagine the gobbledygook that we have seen come back from some of these scam publishers from, that authors will show us. They're like, this is what I got back from the editing.
They now, even if the author's an excellent writer and just needs, a little proofreading, they get back a completely destroyed manuscript because either somebody who's not English is not their first language has edited it, but in most cases, they're charging authors thousands of dollars to run their manuscript through an AI program, which will turn it into gobbledygook as well. Not only that, if they upload your manuscript to an AI program, and let's say later you want to submit your manuscript to one of the big publishers, they're going to they run all the manuscripts through AI detectors. Your manuscript is going to show up as being AI generated, and you're getting a quick rejection letter, and probably a verbal spanking on top of it. Yeah.
Now that's if they bother to send anything back to you at all.
True.
So a lot of them are actually just taking the money and they disappear.
Yeah.
Now that's unless they think they can keep getting more money out of you and other things. So then they'll run the manuscript through the AI program. They'll claim it was edited, or they may actually have an actual person do it. But again, they're not a qualified editor.
Right.
And then. Let's see, we had one person report that his entire manuscript was turned from American English into like UK English.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah.
And so that was, that's clearly, I think, AI doing that.
Sure, yeah.
So when you start seeing lowball figures of $199, $200, $300 to edit your book,
no way.
No.
Not happening.
What's the average, Angie, per word?
Proofreading is around 2.5 cents a word, all the way up to comprehensive editing. I think Clayton charges 11 cents a word for comprehensive editing.
Okay.
So, and there's line editing in between there. It depends. He'll review a manuscript, and talk to the author one-on-one and say, well, here's what we can do with this, or here's what we can do with that. And marketplace.writersweekly.com, click on editors, and you can contact Clayton through there if you want to get a quote for getting your book edited.
Yeah. What you're going to be charged is going to depend on the editor, but there is kind of an industry standard. So,
right.
We're right in there. So,
and Clayton's also an English professor, so he knows what
exactly.
He's at
so
the University of
something.
Tennessee. Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, all right, you want to do this next one?
Sure. Pay us $300, and we will ensure that your account on Amazon or other retailers are kept up to date, and that the sales and royalties are being calculated correctly. Now, you already talked about this. Do not give them your Amazon account login. Don't give it to anybody at all. Again, they do that so they can divert the royalties away from you. And good luck. If you contact Amazon and complain, they'll tell you, this is none of our business. You need to work it out with the company.
Yeah.
You're out of luck. Yep.
All right. Let's see. Guaranteed 50 5-star reviews on Amazon for only $1,000. Boy, there's a lot of snookery going on
Right.
here.
Yep.
So even if they do this, first of all, they're all going to be posted in very short order, like the same day. All right. Anybody reading through your reviews is going to realize that this was generated by either a click farm, AI, something, because anybody, if you're somebody that actually goes through reviews, you look at how far apart those reviews are and you see, and I'll even look at reviews on things, for back a couple of years to see if the product's changed any, or improved. But go ahead, Amy.
Was it Jennifer Westacott or was it Mika who said, hey, after the fact, I paid for, this was part of the package, 10 5-star reviews on Amazon. And she said they put them all up on the exact same day.
That was Mika.
That was Mika?
She actually has a marketing business. So she's like, wait a minute, you promised me all these reviews and those aren't showing up. And because she was actually doing analytics, trying to figure out how her book's doing. And as soon as she did that, the same day, all these reviews suddenly show up all on the same day.
AI generated and all fake. Now, here's the danger with paying somebody for 5-star reviews. When Amazon gets wind of it, and they will, their systems know how to detect this.
Yep.
You're going to lose your Amazon account. You're going to lose your book. Your book's no longer going to be for sale on that website. You're done. Because if your book's not on Amazon, you're done.
In case you cheated.
This is years and years ago. There was an author who was paying people to write reviews about his book, but it was people he knew.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how Amazon does it, but they know who your friends and relatives are. Okay. We've actually written an article about this for Writers Weekly as well. When you ask your family and friends to post fake 5-star reviews, because that's what they are about your book, Amazon's going to rip those things down within a week or two. It's not like, I was talking to this one author. It's like I said, did you buy gifts for these people at some point? Did you send them Amazon gift cards in order to pay for this? And he said no. And I could not figure out, but Amazon knew which reviews were from friends and family, even people that were not connected to his Amazon purchasing account.
It's strange.
Plus, it's fraud.
It is.
Don't pay for reviews. Never pay for reviews.
Yeah. Same thing with putting testimonials on your website. Some of these scammers will say, hey, for like an extra $300, we'll put real customer testimonials on your website. Except these are all fake. They're a scam, and like the testimonials on the scam publisher websites that we've talked about, they're all just going to be crap.
They're stolen photos and fake testimonials.
Yeah, exactly.
I was researching a scammer today for an author, and the website was just created in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
One of the testimonials, the person actually, it's horrible writing, and it says, I am posting this on March 1st, 2023. Okay, 2 years before the website even existed, okay? I mean, it wasn't even remotely believable. James M. Walsh, he and his co-author were scammed by Publishing Mojo, who we've given lots and lots of press to through Writers Weekly. Horrible, horrible company. They posted fake testimonials on the website, and one of the testimonials mentioned a completely different book.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't even try.
Yeah.
Didn't even try. So, yeah.
And we did an episode on we were talking about the click farms and stuff like that, and how people will do kind of the reverse. Instead of giving you good reviews, people attack you and give bad reviews.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and you can tell when it's somebody that's never read your book, because they're like, this book is horrible and I would never read it, and the author sucks. And they don't say anything about the book.
That was when 1-star reviews are author character assassinations.
Okay.
That's what we were talking about. You just brought up something I completely forgot about. I don't think I put it in my notes here. You can be blackmailed by the scammers.
That's true.
And they can tell you, pay us, $2,000, $800, $500, $4,000, or we're going to throw a bunch of 1-star reviews on Amazon about your book. We're gonna 1-star bomb
tank you.
Yep, we're gonna tank you. Yep.
Yep.
Another reason to never answer an email from somebody you don't know. Respond to somebody who contacts you on social media or through your website, or calls you on the phone out of the blue. Go out and find
Yep.
your own publisher. And if you think you found a good one, don't contact them. Contact me first
Yep.
on WritersWeekly.com. If you click on the Contact Us button, it goes straight to me, and I'll tell you if they're a scam or not.
Yeah. And we'll be honest with you. If it's a legit company, we'll say, yeah, they're legit.
I actually had 2 this week.
Yeah.
Two legit publishers that people ask me about. That never happens.
And we even have publishing companies out there that we compete with, but we are friendly with, and we've sent them business.
Yeah.
So, we're not going to automatically, oh yeah, they're a scammer, come to us.
Right.
If you don't want to come to us, don't come to us. But if you bring us something that's a legit publisher, we'll say, oh yeah, that's a good one. Go work with them.
We have a list of legitimate publishers located in the United States.
Yeah, and it's probably shorter than the one we have on scammers.
Well, that's the thing, is because the scammers can put up so many websites in a day, because they're all template driven.
Yeah.
The scam websites far outnumber legitimate publishers by the thousands now.
Now think about that, folks. Think about that. When you're out hunting for a publisher, if I'm a scammer, I can crank out 10 to 15 websites a day. Different names, just rearrange some pictures or more, depending on. I might have an entire warehouse full of people.
Yeah, I was just going to say
that do nothing but put up fake websites, and I'll assign each one of them. You have 20, so whatever money you can make off those 20 websites, it's all yours. I'm going to take a cut.
Right,
yeah, exactly. But so think, if I had a warehouse of 100 people, each putting up about 20 websites and running them as a scammer, with floor bosses that could walk around, and anytime one of those people has a problem client that is starting to figure it out, this expert scammer can sit down and start talking to them as the CEO of the company. So how many websites have I built in one day there with that group of people? Now, if I'm a legitimate business, I've got one website.
Right.
That's it.
Exactly.
Everything I do is focused on that website and that business. That's how I'm making my bread and butter if I'm a legitimate person.
You don't need 3,000 different websites.
So when you're out there looking for publishing companies, think about that. They are out. The scammers outnumber the real publishing companies
by thousands.
Yeah. 1,000 to 1. So
also,
I hate to say it, but that's the landscape we find ourselves in.
Also, authors need to understand that when they are sending money to these scammers, they are enabling human trafficking. A lot of the people working in those warehouses they've been kidnapped, they've been tricked into coming for a job interview, and then they've been kidnapped. They are being denied food if they don't sell enough. Some of them are being beaten, and some of them watch their friends get killed because they haven't sold enough that day. Now, don't make that let you feel guilty, like you need to send them money.
Yeah.
Because the sooner these and this will end.
The sooner
this trend
the entire
is going to end.
Yeah. The sooner the scamming business doesn't make any money, they're going to then they're just going to move on to something else.
There won't be any more human trafficking through that industry, and they're in all industries now. Some pretend to be law firms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this could be a little long episode because we've been bantering a lot here.
Okay,
I'm just looking at our
let's get
notes
back to the
here.
list
So,
here.
okay. Real customer. We did that one.
Podcast.
Wait a minute. I saw it's guaranteed. We were going to do the Barnes and Noble thing here. I'm trying to find my notes. I scrolled up for a second and I lost it. Hold on a second.
We already talked about don't give them your login to Barnes and Noble.
No, that's not it. That's not it. Okay, I don't see it, but we're going to start. What?
Send us 8,000 and we'll send.
That's the
copies.
one. Okay, so folks, here's how the publishing business runs.
We're going to explain how it works when somebody buys a book.
And then we'll explain the scam. Who gets
paid when, right. So you buy a book on Amazon. Amazon gets the book from the distributor. Amazon takes a cut. Distributor takes a cut. Printer takes a cut. Publisher takes a cut. And the author ends up with royalties. Now, for Book Locker authors, for print books, we pay a flat percentage of the list price so that authors always know exactly how much money they're going to make for the sale of each book. And our royalties are higher than traditional publishers. And in fact, our royalties are some of the highest in the industry. Authors don't pay to print books to go to bookstores. That's not how it works. So another one of these scams is, and we're seeing this every day now, send us $8,000 and we'll print 5,000 copies of your book and send it to Barnes & Noble or Books A Million or any other bookstore that they can think of. And they send the author what looks like a legitimate purchase order on letterhead they've stolen online somewhere from the bookstore.
Yeah.
And it looks real. But that's not how it works.
No, you as the author do not pay to have your book put in a bookstore.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
Yep, that's right.
So when you hear that, send us and it's usually a big chunk of money, 5,000, 8,000, 10,000, and we're going to put a whole bunch of books in Barnes & Noble because the brand recognition is what's going to trip your trigger. Mm-hmm. That's what they're working on. That's your emotional trigger right there. Don't do it because that's not how it works.
Now,
if Barnes & Noble wants copies of your book, they'll buy copies of your book. You're going to get royalties from that.
Yeah.
And then they take it and sell it at a bumped up rate so they make a profit.
Yeah.
And that's how it works. Not you pay for a bunch of books and later they give you the money. That's not no.
And while the letterhead is like legitimate from that company and has the website and the corporate address and all these numbers that make it look like you're going to make so much money, you're pay us $8,000 now and you're going to earn $60,000 in 2 months or something, which is absolutely ridiculous. If you click on the reply email to reply to that email, look very closely at the email address. It's not the same as the actual retailer's website domain. Yeah. There might be an extra hyphen, might be a couple of extra letters, but it's not the actual retailer. So that's a big scam, and it's costing authors thousands and thousands of dollars because they're playing on the author's greed. I just put up this money now, and I'm going to make tens of thousands later. But you're not, and they're not going to print any copies of your book and send them anywhere.
No.
Just figured out another way.
They're going to disappear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Podcasts. Don't ever pay to be on a podcast.
By the way, we don't charge anybody who comes as a guest on our podcast.
Neither do 99% of the podcasts out there.
Yeah.
They find their own guests. They don't charge people to come on the podcast. Why would I want somebody that paid to be here?
Right.
Seriously. I mean, I have no idea. We the people we bring on our podcast, we vet them first. We've actually spoken to them in person prior to bringing them on the podcast so that we know whether or not they're a dingling. So I want to make sure that they can speak well and know what they're talking about, and that they're good. That they can have a conversation with us,
and that they've got something educational to share with our listeners.
That you're going to get something out of. Right. Yeah. So the idea of, hey, pay us $2,000 and we're going to get you on such and so-and-so's podcast. Yeah. Well, if such and so are so damn famous, they don't need your $2,000 to get on their podcast. They're picking their own guests for the exact same reason we pick our guests. It's to help build their audience and help build their brand and become more popular with their audience.
Yeah.
Bottom line, we want you to love our content, so we're not going to let anybody pay us to get on our on our podcast.
And a lot of these scammers are pretending to be working with well-known podcast hosts.
Yeah.
And companies. And if you pay the money and then you never get on the podcast and you contact the real company, they're going to say, you got scammed.
Yeah, it's not our fault.
We've never worked with them.
Exactly.
Last night I was on Facebook and this ad kept popping up because I took a look at it for a little 2 seconds, I guess. And it's this dude, okay? He's standing on a stage. He's dressed in a black and gold suit. Gold, I mean shiny gold. And it looks like there's a bunch of people just sitting there watching him, and he's got a microphone in front of him, except he's promoting a podcast, so why would people be sitting in the room? That didn't make any sense. And this guy was so clearly, obviously full of himself, and he makes a living charging people if he interviews them.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, based on the almost no followers on his Facebook page, but he's got like 200 posts. It was embarrassing.
Yeah.
So, of course, I wrote in, I said, nobody would pay to be on your podcast because, man, it doesn't make any sense at all. So,
okay, for only $2,000, we'll trademark your book. Okay, folks, got to understand the lingo. Books aren't trademarked. They're copyrighted.
Right.
There's no such thing as a trademark for your book. Angie?
You can trademark your name if it's entirely unique. You can trademark your book title if it's entirely unique. You can trademark your characters if you've got, if you've got like a graphic novel or something. You don't need a trademark for your book. You just need to copyright it.
If you get an invitation to pay to attend an international recognition awards gala, and you're going to get an award. You just have to pay us a couple grand to get it. Everybody gets a trophy. Well, not us. I'm done. You got to pay somebody to go there. I don't want anything to do with that, and you shouldn't either.
It's called Pay to Play. Remember the old what were the books?
Oh, the Who's Who and the Who's Who of society or whatever
Who's Who.
F it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I actually edited a book recently, and one of the accolades the author put in his bio was that he'd been Who's Who in America of something or other. Yeah. And I gently explained to him he needed to remove that because it's actually embarrassing when people know what it actually is. Nobody got in those books without paying, okay? Yeah. Nobody goes to these award galas, with the fake ones, without paying.
So everybody that's getting those awards paid to get that award.
And so I went to one of these websites, and it's an actual company in the United States, and they got all these pictures of people dressed in, it looks like the freaking Oscars, okay? All these people dressed up, and some are on stage, some are just sitting around drinking their champagne and everything, and it's so embarrassing. Because they paid. Yeah. They didn't win anything.
Yeah, it's not they take your money and disappear. There actually is a location. Sorry, folks, that's my alarm to water the dogs. There's a real location. It's, they got an auditorium for everyone to sit in. They have a dinner and everything, but every one of those blatherskites up there on that stage paid to get that award for their book.
They paid for airfare. Hmm? They paid for the hotel. They paid for the award. They paid for the certificate. Some of the certificates are like $600 for a piece of paper. And just to stand up there and get their picture taken. And some of them, if you pay even extra, you get to speak on stage. Yeah. It's a total scam. Well, if you're willing to pay all that and understand that you're doing it for your own ego, I guess it's not a scam. However, the foreign scammers
starting to figure this out.
Have figured out that they can pretend to be associated with these galas, and they will have their, quote, travel agent arrange all your travel, your hotel, everything, and you'll pay, thousands and thousands of dollars for all this, and then you'll show up at the airport, and there's no ticket for you. Yeah. You don't have a hotel reservation. They have taken your money and run, and when you contact the real company, they'll say, yep, you got scammed.
Yeah, so just in case you heard what we were talking about and figure, I got a couple of grand to spend on my ego, you still might get scammed, so be careful.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, book club emails. This is where they send a fake AI message praising your book, and only a few emails later, you realize you have to tip all of the book club members that are going to review your book. You want to talk about this?
Yeah, so we've also written an article about this for Writers Weekly, and we'll put a link to that as well under this episode. They claim they're from such and such book club. They've got, let's say, 400 members. They all want to get together and discuss your book. And the email, if some of the emails are very lazy. Hey, I own a book club. We want to talk about your book with book title. That's it. Some of them are 3, 4, 5 paragraphs long because they've used AI to send a complimentary email to you. And I've talked about this before. I used AI one time and I said, send Angela Hoy a complimentary email about her book, The Emergency Divorce Handbook for Women. Click, boom. It's on the screen that fast. And it was like 4 or 5 paragraphs. And it looked real. Yeah. It looked like somebody had actually read my book and had taken my advice and gotten away from her husband and got custody of kids and everything. Anyway, they're all fake. Most of them come from Gmail email addresses. If they give you a website, it's sometimes one of those free websites. Yeah. It's like theirname.freewebsite.com, you know. And then, so you'll go back and forth a few times because you're so excited that they actually read your book and they loved it so much. And then you'll find out that you need to, this is the most common thing they use, tip the readers. Well, first, you have to pay.
You're gonna pay them for the quote service.
Yeah, you have to pay all the. So you send all the money to the initial person,
to the club,
who's going to keep all the money anyway, because there is no book club. Also, they want you to pay for and ship all those books to them. Now, if you actually do have a book on the market and you have 400 copies shipped to this fake person, what do you think they're going to do with them?
Yeah, they're going to turn around and sell them for their own. Yeah,
they're gonna show up as for third-party seller on Amazon, eBay, or they might just chunk them and go on to the next, because it's a lot easier just to get somebody to pay you $4,000 to have your friends review a book.
Yeah. So, okay. Now, if they can't get money from you any other way, or if you've figured out that they're a scam and you're trying to, back out of it or threaten them to give you your money back, they can resort to blackmail. We have seen it. This is a last resort for scammers who realize they're not getting any more money out of the author. Okay, so it's like, pay us so many thousands of dollars and we're not going to trash your reputation online. We already talked about this a little bit.
We've seen death threats.
Yep.
We're going to send somebody after you or your family. Yep.
They can get pretty nasty.
Yep.
Okay. So that's another reason you got to be real careful with these, with who you go with. Because if you wind up with a scammer, even when you realize it and you're like, okay, I'm done with this, or, hey, you got, $10,000 of my money, I want it back. You might be surprised how nasty they can turn.
Well, and remember, you're dealing with an international crime cartel.
Yeah, that is true.
And over there, like in Nigeria, it's considered, what's the word? It's considered honorable.
Well, it's
to rip off American
just
citizens.
Business. Yeah, but the thing is, once you start challenging them or you're, cutting off the money, you are hurting their business.
And they can get very, very nasty.
Yeah. Well, you've gotten death threats. So.
Yeah. So have some authors.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, okay, you need to pay $1,500 before we can send you your royalties. Oh, this is a good one. This is right off the Nigerian print scam. It's almost carbon copy. So basically, they'll contact you and say, hey, we got $12,000 worth of royalties. Waiting for you, but because of this international licensing fee or any number of bank transfer fee, whatever,
100 names for it.
You have to send us $1,500 before we can send you all that money.
But you'll get your $1,500 back.
Oh yeah, well
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, they never suggest, well, we'll just go ahead and take care of that licensing fee ourselves, and we're going to take it out of those royalties as we send them to you.
Oh, that's
no. It's you got to send the money up front.
I had one author last week, exact same scenario, and he forwarded me the emails, and it was like, we are holding $38,450.12 in royalties for you, but you first need to send us $500. You'll get it back.
Yeah.
We'll refund it back, but it's a processing fee that we have to cover, but we can get it refunded back to you later. And thank goodness he contacted me. And you know what's sad is that he actually thought those royalties were there. I looked up his book on Amazon. It was rated, so many millions, Oh, yeah. I told him gently, it's so hard to have these conversations with authors. I said, chances are that only you and your family members or friends have bought your book, because I'm looking at the ranking on Amazon. They actually did publish a book for him, but that was the, what do you call it? The long.
Well, that was the long con. Yeah. That's your little bait right there. Okay. See, we got your book on Amazon. Isn't that great? Because it doesn't take anything to throw a book up on Amazon. And then, oh man, you got $30,000 in royalties waiting for you. Now you just got to pay us this much because it's a processing fee, and then we'll get all those royalties to you.
And sometimes it's thousands, not hundreds.
Yeah, and you get. So, oh my, wow, they got all this money for me. Okay, let me, 1,500, 2,000, 3,000. That's nothing compared to what they're sending me. So, yeah.
Yep.
And of course, they promise you're going to get that back and da-da-da-da. And then you're just out another, $1,500, $2,000, $3,000, and you're still not going to see any money.
Yep.
So, yep. Okay, let's see. Famous authors. So, we're seeing this a bit. Famous. You get an email and it's from, give me a famous author name.
James Patterson.
James Patterson. He wants to help you promote your book. In fact, he wants to give you some writing tips on how he became successful, and in fact, he might even have some friends he can turn you on to, or turn on, point in your direction that can help you market that book and make lots and lots of money.
Yeah.
Well, I got news for you. It ain't him.
Yep. Just like when you get emails from Keanu Reeves and Matt Rife and all those other celebrities.
Again, this is a carbon copy of the romance scam.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Except they're going to refer you to somebody that's going to charge you money to promote your book, which they're not going to promote your book. And in fact, it's all the same person.
Yeah.
They just keep, they wear many hats. Yeah. It's a scam.
Yeah. Stephen King doesn't want your $2,000 to, help you figure out how to sell your book.
Right.
He couldn't care less about your book.
Yeah.
Okay. The 1,000 Books Club.
I know this is hard. The 1,000 Books Book Club sounds impressive, right? It's a scam.
Okay.
We're seeing it in email. I wanted to put that name on there because we're seeing that name over and over again. The 1,000 Books Book Club scam. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. We see this on several of the scammer websites. 100% money back guarantee. Mm-hmm. And it's just a BS line they throw on there to gain your confidence. Again, they're always going for the long con.
Yep.
It's never just a grab and run, take your money and go. So they're there to convince you that you're going to get all your money back if you're not happy with their services, which is their whole intent was to take your money and disappear anyway. Well, take your money over time, and they never have any intent of giving your money back. And so that was just another way that they reel you in.
There's a weird psychological thing going on with authors. Hold on just a second.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I hear from authors through email, and I read from these victims online, on these review websites, and they know they got scammed. They know, because I've told them, look, the covers on their website are fake. Their authors have never been on ABC News or Fox or anything. Look, Facebook says they're in Nigeria. So I convince them that all the things on this website are fake. It's all a scam. And they come back, but they promised me 100% money back guarantee. They actually still believe they're going to get their money back because it's in the contract.
Yep. That's
null and void anyway. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And last but not least, a lot of them like to promise 100% royalties, and Angie's going to explain how that works.
There's no such thing. Okay, if you're a new author, you think 100% royalties. Ooh, my book's for sale for $13. I'm going to get $13. That's not how it works. Like we explained earlier, the retailer, the distributor, the printer, everybody gets their cut, and the author gets whatever's left over if the publisher is paying net royalties. At Book Locker, for our print books, again, we pay a flat percentage of the list price of the book. So that's how it always works, either net royalties or you get a flat percentage. 100% royalties, even some so-called legitimate companies in the United States use that term to fool authors. There's no such thing as 100% royalties. Nobody's getting 100% of the sale price of that book.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, they are getting 100% of, well, they're probably not going to get anything because it's a scam website.
Well, yeah,
but, I mean, we give people 100% of the royalties that they have coming.
Right.
Whatever royalties they have earned based on our royalty schedule, our royalty
rates. Our royalty rates. Yeah.
They get 100% of that.
Right.
Yeah.
But we present.
But you don't get 100% of the retail cost of the book.
Right.
Yes.
We present the royalty rates in an honest way.
Yes.
And explain exactly how it works. Anybody that says 100% royalties should be avoided.
Yeah.
Because they're just trying to fool you.
Okay, well, we definitely hope that this batch of information resonates with you. Maybe you've seen some of this stuff and haven't clicked on it just yet. Well, don't click on it because it's all scam. It's all gobbledygook, and you're going to get snookered.
And you'll be in a real kerfuffle.
That you will be in an absolute kerfuffle. That's right. Oh, you got me on that one. I don't have a comeback. Okay. So keep these things in mind. Write them down. If you're hunting for a publishing company, go back, listen to this podcast again, and write these things down so you'll know what you're looking for.
Also, under this episode, we'll put the list of 11 ways to tell if it's a publishing scammer
that's
or not.
right.
We'll put that right up top because
those 11 steps haven't failed us yet.
No.
So
not once.
Okay, folks, we're gonna wrap it up here, call it a day. Now, back in episode 36, we interviewed Ricky Pittman, also known as the Bard of the South. He's one of our most prolific authors. The man just writes and writes and writes. He's also a professor at in
Texas.
Was it Texas or Louisiana?
Louisiana.
And I apologize, Ricky. I don't remember which university. I'm going to say probably.
He actually works at 2. Yeah.
The man just is so busy. I can't keep up with his schedule. So, but he's also a musician, travels all over the South, singing songs of old. Mm-hmm. And this one, I believe, comes from the Civil War. We're going to play, for the next several episodes, we're going to start playing Ricky Pittman's music at the end of our podcast. And this is going to be the Bonnie Blue Flag, sung by Ricky Pittman, the Bard of the South. Angie, it's been fun.
It's been fun.
All right.
We're going to sit around and sing after we stop recording.
Yeah.
Sing along. We're going to sing along.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right. And y'all take care. We'll see you next time on the Writers Weekly podcast.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
A band of brothers and native to the soil, fighting for our liberty with treasure, blood, and toil. And when our rights were threatened, the pride rose near and far. Hurrah for the bonnie blue flag that bears a single star. Hurrah, hurrah for Southern rights, hurrah. Hurrah for the bonnie blue flag that bears a single star. Hurrah, hurrah for Southern rights, hurrah. Hurrah for the bonnie blue flag that bears a single star. As long as the Union was faithful to her trust, like friends and brethren, kind we were and just. And now when northern treachery attempts our rights to mar, we hoist on high the bonnie blue flag that bears a single star. Hurrah, hurrah for Southern rights, hurrah. Hurrah for the bonnie blue flag that bears a single star. Hurrah, hurrah for Southern rights, hurrah. Hurrah for the bonnie blue flag that bears a single star. Here's to our Confederacy, strong we are and brave. Like patriots of old, we'll fight our heritage to save. And rather than submit to shame, to die we would prefer. So cheer for the bonnie blue flag that bears a single star. Hurrah, hurrah for Southern rights, hurrah. Hurrah for the bonnie blue flag that bears a single star. Hurrah, hurrah for Southern rights, hurrah. Hurrah for the bonnie blue flag that bears a single star.